Hey everybody, this is TJR. So tonight, after a long day working at my day job and then coming home and then working some more on videos, I decide, okay, I'm going to relax for a little bit and watch a little bit of TV, which I don't get to do a whole lot of. And I'm very selective about what I watch for that reason. So I'm watching some TV when my partner comes in and says, stop, you've got to see this, you've got to see this. I'm like, what do I have to see? And she pulls out her phone and she starts to pair it with the Apple TV. And she plays me this young band playing live, a video of this young band playing. And I say, well, okay, well, who are these guys that I have to see them? And she says to me, they're called Inhaler. And so I'm watching them. And I have to admit, they're very solid live. They're very tight live. And I'm watching the lead singer, guitarist in the band. There's actually two guitarists. I'm not sure if he plays rhythm or lead. I'm assuming rhythm. But he's really playing with just a ferocity. And his voice, I'm listening to him, and I'm thinking to myself, he sounds a lot like Bono from U2. And I'm looking at him thinking, he looks kind of like Bono. And I look over to my partner and I say to her, is this Bono's kid? And she said, yeah, it's Bono's kid. And this is the first I had heard that he had formed a band and was doing music. And so the song that they were playing in this live video, I found out was called My Honest Face. And I have to admit, it has that kind of high energy that I remember U2 having like on their very first album, Boy. It has that very strong punk influence to it. So I went to Tidal. I looked them up to see if they had anything, already released. Turns out since 2017, they have released several tracks. No album, no EP, just some singles. Some of them are 2 tracks per release. But just, I think roughly about 7 songs. I listened to every single one of them and thought, they sound pretty darn good. So I decided to actually check out the article that hosted the video that started all this. And so it reads here, BBC Sound of 2020, Bono's son and his band Inhaler, tip for success. I don't think I've ever heard that phrase before, tip for success, but I understand what they're going for with that. It reads, Inhaler want to make it on their own terms just like any band. I think that should read wants to make it on their own terms, but I could be wrong. The way they tell their story, the fact their frontman is the son of one of the world's biggest rock stars is almost irrelevant. Does the grammar sound bad on that? It does to me. Maybe I'm just reading it wrong. But, I've heard this quote before. Whenever I read about someone who is the son or daughter of someone famous in the music business, I always read this that, they want to make it on their own terms, which I don't blame them. I would too. And that the fact that they're the son or daughter of someone famous is irrelevant. Well, I've always disagreed with that. It's tremendously relevant. If you are the son or daughter of somebody famous, especially when that someone famous is one of the biggest rock stars on the planet, media is going to pay more attention to you. Journalists are going to write more articles about you. And these days, it's very hard for any band to get any kind of attention from the media. So I definitely will not diss you for using whatever it is you have at your disposal in order to get that attention. And of course, it's always a double-edged sword. While you will get that attention, you will also be scrutinized a whole lot more too by that same media. So what you have to back it up is you have to have really good songs. And even then it can be very difficult. If you sound like your famous parent, you can be embraced at first, but then you can also be discarded after the novelty wears off. I mean, Julian Lennon had this great debut album, and, the media just was amazed by him. And then on the second album, they just kind of forgot he existed. He still made good music, but they just kind of disregarded him. I'm not really sure why. I'll admit his follow-up album was maybe not as strong as his debut, but he continued to make good music after that. Sean Lennon, a completely different example. He crafted a very unique lo-fi album of great songs that was his debut, and I really loved the album. But in all honesty, I don't think he sounded enough like his dad to get the attention that his debut album deserved. He got some attention, but not enough. And it's too bad because it was a really good album. Getting back to what I listened to on Tidal, the track My Honest Face, which is the track I heard them play live, listening to the studio version, it sounds like it could have been released by U2 on their first album, Boy. In fact, as I listen to all the songs they've released so far, there is definitely a strong U2 influence, but then how could there not be? I made a playlist of these tracks so that I could listen to them in the same way that I might listen to like a 7-track EP, because I believe there was a total of 7 songs all in all. These tracks, I would say, are pretty darn good, and definitely I am going to be interested in checking out their debut album whenever that happens. I understand it's in the works, but no dates have been given. By the way, I should mention that Bono's son is named Elijah Hewson. Hopefully I've said that correctly. He's using his real name. He's not using a stage name like his father. And that's not a diss on Bono, by the way. There's nothing wrong with using a stage name. As a musician, I used my initials, TJR. I'm still using it here on YouTube. The reason I did was because I thought my real name was, quite frankly, kind of boring sounding. But then again, I'm a boring guy. Except, of course, when I'm not fighting crime as the Masked Marauder. Oh, oops, I gave that away. At any rate, though, I checked out these tracks. I thought they were really good. I think they have a lot of potential. Wanted to let you know about them. Go give them a listen on whatever streaming service you like to use, and let me know what you think of them. Do you think they sound too much like U2? Do you think they sound like U2 but different? Let me know your thoughts. I'm curious to know. Anyways, it's time for me to get back to work on more videos, but I want to take this time out just to talk about this and look forward to hearing what you have to say. Take care, everybody. As always, if you like what I do, click like, click subscribe, smash the notification icon. Talk to you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.